rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Nice meeting you.
Trustee Costa?
Present.
Trustee Caprio?
Present.
Trustee Rogers? Present. Trustee Sweets?
Present.
Trustee Metzger-Troitsky?
Present.
Trustee Varian?
Present.
Trustee Yukich? Mayor Yukich?
That's all right. I'm used to both. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor, I would like to table I-5 for a future workshop and more information and conversation on that topic.
Okay. Should make a motion. Okay, can you make a motion?
I would like to make a motion to table I-5 for a future workshop.
I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Okay. So good there. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from May 27th, 2015 Village Board meeting?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, ayes have it. Next is going to be reports and communications from the mayor and other officers. I'll start out with the mayor's report. We had the festival a couple weeks ago, which turned out real well. We had one bad day, but that was okay. It was the first time it ever happened since we've had the festival. And it still worked out, everyone had fun, and everything was safe. But I wanted to thank every single Salterry person that worked on it, contributed to it. The board, I know, did, or the committee did very, very well with what was put before them. They worked very hard on this, which I just wish everyone knew how hard you guys did work on it. But Trustee Costa and Trustee Capri will report on it, seeing they sit on the FES committee. Then a special thanks to Trustee Costa, Trustee Caprio, and to Ann Holtz. And to the township, and to the highway department. So, but they'll get the rest of that. Just a reminder that we did start the mayor's blog last week. If you want to go on there, kind of get you a little bit up to date. It's on the site, www.homerglen.org. And all you have to do is type in block in the search bar, and they will get you all the information that you need. A couple things that are going on right now. The closure of Gas Mart Citgo's gas station on 143rd Street. They're going to be moving out of there. We're hoping that Shell comes in from across the street, but there are other gas stations that are looking at the corner, because we will be losing Shell too when they do the street improvement. The village, we weren't surprised by it because of what's happening in the village right now with all the roads that are being closed and being worked on. So we're working on it to get it filled out. And then basically the village is they want to assure that we will have a gas station there. We're going to see if they can get some property from the people next door to make it a bigger one. And then it also will add a benefit for us to get everything behind it built. Mosquito abatement. We hire the company to spray for the mosquitoes. We do it as much as we possibly can. Just so everyone understands that when we do it, it is a temporary fix, but it's very, very expensive to spray. So the best thing to do is if you are getting bit up, get some mosquito spray just to kind of add a benefit to them not biting you anymore. We're going to have some more treatments as the summer goes on, but if you have any questions, please call the village. State's budget, they have a mess right now downstate, and they are going to stop doing some of the work on some of the roadways. We will not be in that position because they're not supposed to start on us until next year. Right now, they're changing all of the electrical lines, phone lines, gas lines, water lines, sewer lines. That all has to be done. That has nothing to do with the state, so they will still keep going on with our roads here. Let's see what else we have. The upcoming events we have, every Saturday we have the Lamont Card Club show. It is between 5 and 8 o'clock. It's getting bigger and bigger. Big R will be moving the fencing out of the parking lot very soon, so it can actually get bigger than what it is. Seems to be a hit, and it's helping all the businesses around the community, so we're very happy with that. We have a Chambers Meet the Mayor event Thursday, July 23rd. It runs from 7:30 to 9:30, and will be located at the Lockport Township High School.
At 8 or p.m.?
That is AM. So just contact the chamber if you need more information on that. And then the Greek for the Day Festival is Saturday, July 25th, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., and Sunday, July 26th, from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Assumption Greek Orthodox Church on 15625 South Bell Road. That's it for my comments today. We'll start with the trustees. Trustee Barry.
Nothing to report, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Troy.
Nothing to report.
Okay. Trustee Costa.
Thank you, Mayor. I know Trustee Cacto is going to give a report on the fest, so he has a nice report he's going to give, so I won't say much about that, except as the Mayor said, thank everybody that worked on the fest, all our volunteers, and especially all the residents that came out to make it such a success. It was a great weekend. But I would like to just reiterate again, we said in meetings before about speeding. Please watch your speed in subdivisions. We are putting speed counters down in various areas of the community, and the speeds seem like they're creeping up. The last one that we just did, I believe the 85 percentile bracket of the people going through one specific subdivision on the street was between 37 and 42 miles an hour, 45 miles an hour. That's unacceptable. Speed limit in our subdivisions is 25 miles an hour. Please watch your speed, especially with the construction going on. I think more and more people are trying to get off of those streets and cutting through subdivisions. You may not be familiar with it as much, but there are a lot of little kids out there, and please watch your speeds going through them. Keep it down. We're doing the best we can. I know the Sheriff's Department is doing the best they can. They can't be every place, but the last thing we want to do is have accidents and someone get hurt because we're trying to cut 15 seconds off of our trip someplace. Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Costa. Trustee Rogers.
I have nothing to report.
Oh, I don't. Thank you. Trustee Suisse.
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting for the Environment Committee, just a brief reminder that the stargazing event will take place on Friday, July 24th from 9 to 11 p.m. at the Trantina Farm. All are welcome. Bring your cameras, take some pictures, and we are also looking for pictures to put to our website in the future. Reporting for the Homer Harvest Days Committee, please mark your calendars for September 12 and 13, also taking place at the Trantina Farm. We are looking for volunteers, and community service hours will be available. You may visit the website at www.homerharvestdays.com for a form, or call the township office at 708-301-0522. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Suisse. Trustee Caprio.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. And in conjunction with what the Mayor said, Homer Community Fest was a success as usual. We've done very well with it over the last 5 years. We had a lot of great bands, a little bit of rain. We got through it. It scared us the week approaching the fest, but we were able to maneuver and get things in place, and with the help of everybody, Highway Department, village staff, committee staff, we did very well. We probably did in excess of 4,000 people on Saturday night. On Thursday night, I think we did about maybe a couple thousand people. Friday was our rain date, so we didn't have quite as many people, but they stayed, listened to the music, had a good time. Saturday night was probably the single largest crowd we've had for a Saturday night at the festival. And then Sunday we had a nice family, sort of a family day, and rounded up the festival, I think, nicely. The numbers aren't totally in yet, so we'll figure out what the numbers are. Once we have those numbers, we'll be able to share them with the board and the homeowners in the community. I'm confident that the rain will not stop us going forward in the future, we hope. And the festival committee, volunteers, local businesses, I think they all did a great job for 2015, and we're looking forward to setting the date for 2016. So that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Gabriel. All right, is there a treasurer's report?
There's no treasurer's report.
Okay. Is there a clerk's report?
I broke my foot. Seriously, Lockport Township High School Booster Club, the baseball and football groups, they've gotten together and they are sponsoring a golf outing this Friday at Prairie Bluff Golf Course. It's $100 a person and it starts at 3. And sorry for the late notice, but they're still looking for people. So you can check out www.porterbaseball.org for more information. Thank you.
Thank you. Village Attorney?
No reports.
Any public officials? Village Manager?
No report, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Next is public comments. If you could please keep it to 3-minute limit. It's already signed in. First person to speak is going to be Kathy Sindelar.
Hi, I just like to know if there's anything that we can do about the speeding in Birchdale. They take on our times. They really go through there fast. There's a lot of little kids. And I prefer they don't come through my house.
So,
Yeah, so something needs to be done there.
what we'll do is we'll get the address to the Will County Police for you. We'll see if we can get a car to sit around there. What we have done, when I was on the safety committee with Trustee Costa, we did the speed studies, and then actually I had my own radar gun for a while. And what we found is a lot of them are the neighbors that are doing it. But now with all the construction that's coming up, we have a lot more cars coming through the subdivisions. So as Trustee Costa had said earlier, we will get someone over there to sit around there.
It's really bad.
Okay, we'll help you out on that though.
Okay.
Thank you. John Coy?
I probably could have just talked to somebody in the building department or even Cameron Davis, but anyway, when we put in 143rd Street, we had a chance to put in sidewalks, and Dennis Gerling and myself talked to the general contractor of 143rd Street. Every time I go up and down 143rd Street, I'm seeing more and more people walking or biking in the street because we never put a sidewalk in there. It doesn't make no difference which side of the street we're on. But I'm also looking at the problems with the speeding in subdivisions. Most of our subdivisions don't have sidewalks in front of their houses. I would really like to consider putting any subdivision to be built from today or next month on to make sure that they have to have sidewalks in front of their houses. And then the rest of this, when they finish this Bell Road and 143rd Street, there is a sidewalk on one side or the other. Like right out in front here, we have a sidewalk on one side of the street. And if you notice, you will see people biking it or walking it occasionally. And if we're gonna do Bell Road, please put the sidewalk in. 159th, we agreed we're gonna pay for that. That I know, but 143rd Street now, we goofed by not putting it in from Will Cook to Bell. So now let's put it in from Bell to however far we're gonna go. I know the next part is right before you hit Parker, but eventually it will go all the way out to 355. We need sidewalks on these streets. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Next is Mike Squire.
Hello, everyone. First, I want to say from a parks perspective, I think we've had a really good 2 weeks with forward progress, and I hope to see Parks and Recreation, the progress continue going forward, so I'm glad to see that. But one of my concerns that I see is that this bond issue, I guess it's going in front of the A&F committee about, we're going to, kind of clarify or redefine the language in the bond, and I'm a little concerned that, currently as the bond is written, it gives us the flexibility to use the money for any municipal projects that we see fit to kind of improve or make progress in the village. And I just don't want to see us change any language or redefine it or limit ourselves into using this money for projects that, kind of help the village and, kind of shoot ourselves in the foot and not be able to use it for, say, a phase of the parks going forward. So I'm a little worried about that. I'm hoping that we're just clarifying or kind of keeping it open, and we're going to leave that money open for things we want to do. So hopefully you guys can answer us some of that, or kind of clarify why we're going in front of the A&F committee with a bond issue. And I hope we're not manufacturing an issue that's not really there, because right now the bond, the way it's written, it does leave it open and it gives us flexibility. So that's just my concern, and thank you.
Thank you. Jim Orban.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to say I had a great time at the Homer Fest. Outstanding job by everybody up here, in the board, and the mayor. It was a really good time. With regards to the subject I want to bring up today was with regards to the Woodbine Park. I think the last administration had kind of punted on the idea of how they're going to create a revenue stream to support the park. It's a conversation that no one's really had yet. We get a lot of free-flowing ideas about what should be on the park, what should be on the property, and it's been actually this conversation about what the needs for parks and recreation in the village has been going on for 7 or 8 years now. And my suggestion, or I'd like to maybe hear the trustees weigh in, or maybe even open up a new business item, is what type of funding mechanism do you envision we would have for the park? Because I think once the citizens get an idea of what's in the budget, if it's $100,000 a year is going to be allocated towards the park and developing the park property, if it's $500,000 a year, if we're going to make cuts in other budget items that we've got today in order to reallocate it to the park, if we need to raise revenue, whatever the idea is that that we have from a budget perspective, that'd be great to know, so people aren't chasing $20 million sports complexes, and they can actually figure out exactly what we've got and what we agree on as a community. One of the things I do want to point out, and we've had 2 referendums, or two swats at the plate with regards to home rule. Both of those referendums passed with huge majorities. So I think that the citizens actually can step up and say, hey, if we have to raise revenue in a certain way and use our home rule ability to do that, I don't think that's out of hand to actually bring that out. I do feel our village is falling behind on the services perspective, and it's starting to reflect on property values when people resell their homes. I know from a personal perspective, I live in Old Oak. Lamont's building homes less than a mile away from my house at about the same price tag as mine, and with all the services that those citizens get in with Lamont, with their park district, and some of these other things at high school, that type of thing. I'm not saying we got to do all this tomorrow, but it'd be nice to know, we've been incorporated for 15 years. We've got one revenue stream basically, and that's the sales tax, which is 1%. The other ones are coming from the state. We all know the state's not going to give us any money for parks anymore. So we can have an adult conversation perhaps about how we're going to do this, and whatever those numbers that the village decides, that's great. But it is going to need leadership from the board and from the mayor on this. If this is something that we're going to do as a village, and I'd be willing to support 100% any sort of ideas that would come forward. The thing that I fear the most is that we're going to be here in 2019 still having the same conversation about what it's going to look like. Thank you.
Thank you. Dennis Garwick.
I see we have yet another person coming before the board complaining about speeding. That's been my hot topic since, for the past 9 years. I can't say the police department are at fault here. I think the Lieutenant Fish will verify that on any given day, during the daytime, we have, correct me if I'm wrong, Lieutenant, 4 officers on the street? Correct. 4 officers to cover 22 square miles. Do the math, a little over 5 square miles per police officer. You can't cover speeding with that amount of coverage. So in order to maybe improve the situation, you're left with a couple of options. And it came up at, I believe it was the safety meeting, perhaps it was a month ago, or the last one, reducing the entire speed limit in the village to 20 miles per hour as you did on Derby Lane, which I'm not convinced yet that helped. But some of the larger communities around us had it community-wide, 20 miles an hour on residential streets. There's no reason why we can't do that and see what the effect is, if any. The only other way to perhaps have an effect on the speeding problem is let's get some more cops. That's going to cost some money. Nobody wants to spend the money. You know, I don't see why not. They can't be everywhere, as you said. So if they can't be everywhere, we try to get a few more, or you alter the construction of the road, which is a real sore topic with you people, I know. But you know something? Those are the only two options you really have. More cops or alter the roads. And you know what I mean by alter the roads. This has been discussed many times. It's time something gets done. Yeah, like I say, yet another person tonight discussing speeding. There was a fellow that came into the, two guys that came into the safety meeting and addressed it. Very polite, had professionally made brochure stating what their problem was on their street. They really did it the right way. And we'll see what happens with that. The most recent study they did on the street that I live on, I believe was faulted. I mentioned that previously. I'm requesting that the study be done again using 4 tracking devices, which is the only real honest way to get an accurate count of what's happening on that street. And I hope that comes off pretty quick. I'll be talking to Mike Salamowitz about it in the future. But something needs to be done. It seems almost now that every month or two, we have somebody else coming before the board talking about a speeding problem. You guys got to do something. Because one of these days, someone's going to get hit. Some kid's going to get nailed. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. That's it for public comment. Okay. Next, we're going to be in a consent agenda. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes the following items of business. 1, consider the approval of the village's April professional consultation services invoice from Williams Architect in the amount of $12,093.69. 2, consider the approval of the village's March 6th through May 31st, 2015 professional consulting services invoice in the amount of $2,135.33 from Farnsworth Group for Homer Glen lighting ordinance reviews with the Environmental Committee's Lighting Subcommittee. And 3, consider the approval ordinance number 15030, an ordinance establishing the list of standing committees of the Village of Homer Glen.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Knight-Turkey?
Aye.
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Steve?
Aye.
Legislation items. This is for the appointments to the Parks Committee. Is there a motion to approve the appointments of Chairperson Christine Knightsky-Troike to the Village's Parks and Recreation Committee, along with members Ed Cryer, Cassandra Courtwright, Dale Jansen, Russell Knack, Bob Command, Marty Oster, and Jerry Young. It is understood that all of the Parks and Recreation Committee appointments are for the period of 1 year.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
I just have a question. Is there anybody else that applied for this? Are there other people that have applied for these?
As far as I know, the ones that did apply, we have put them on. If more people do want to apply, we have no problem adding people to it.
Okay, this is 8 members. How many people are allowed to be on the committee? Is there a limit?
There's actually not a limit. Traditionally, there's been around 7, 8 committee members.
Okay.
Just so you can be assured to try to, get a quorum each time. The larger the committee gets, the harder it sometimes gets to get a quorum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, but like I said, though, if someone wants to get on, it's still not a problem. If he wants to get onto it, we can talk to you and get you there. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Knight-Turkey?
Aye.
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Okay. Proclamation for the Parks and Recreation Month. Is there a motion to approve the attached proclamation designing July as Park and Recreation Month in the Village of Homer Glen?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Sweet? Aye. Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Trustee Knight-Peterson? Aye.
Motion carries. Plan Commission appointment. Is there a motion to approve the appointment of Kevin O'Donnell to serve as a member of the Village's Planning Commission? It is understood that Mr. O'Donnell's appointment will run from now until May 31st, 2018.
I so move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Knight-Peterson? Aye. Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Motion carries. 4, is there a motion to approve a partial refund of village permit application fees to the Assumption Greek Orthodox Church in the amount of $5,975.88? It is understood that refunds from permit application fees paid in previous fiscal years are not budgeted for the village's fiscal year of 2015 through 16 general fund, and that the expense for this permit fee refund would have to be paid for out of the village's fiscal year 2015-16 general fund, village board contingency, line item number 10-92-80-599. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay, well, we will have to bring this back after.
Motion fails, so I have a second.
Okay. So motion fails for lack of a second. Okay, number 5, we put off right now. Number 6, general fund reserve transfer to park and rec fund and the EAB fund. Is there a motion to direct the finance director to initiate the additional proposed year-end general fund transfers in accordance with the mayor's and the village board standard operating procedure number 2, with 87.5% of $350,000 of the general fund's excess surplus transferred to the Parks and Recreation Fund, 12.5%, which would be $50,000 of the excess surplus transferred to the capital funds, EAB Tree Restoration Fund. So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
Yes, there was a second.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Trustee Knight-Peterson? Aye. Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve a one-time contribution of $1,000 to the Will County Center for Community Concerns, WCCCC, to support their programs and services?
I so move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Trustee Knight-Peterson? Aye.
Motion carries. 2015 proposed resurfacing program for the village. Is there a motion to approve resolution number 15-010, a resolution approving a proposed roadway improvement resurfacing program for 2010 in the village of Homer Glen? 2010, then, for the program of 2015.
That's a typo.
5 years.
Everyone
I kind of saw that with you without glasses or something.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
I just wanted to mention, Commissioner DeVivo normally is here for this, and he usually goes through and answers any questions that you have, explains the program a little bit. Of course, he lost his mother, and we're thinking about him and his family. What ends up happening is Mike comes up with a list along with his staff. It's a well thought out list. And they go out and they look at the conditions of all the streets. They have a master list of conditions. And Mike Salamovich and I look it over. I usually go out and inspect the streets too that he has on the list. And then we bring it forward every year for the board's consideration in this board. So I think if Mike was here, he could probably go into great detail, but obviously with the passing of his mother, he couldn't be here tonight.
So there are some subdivisions that need to be resurfaced. We don't have the list yet, but I would like to at least have Commissioner DeVivo have the opportunity to put them before us, but we can vote on it now. Or do you want to wait until you hear what streets and what subdivisions?
No, I think there was attached, there was an attachment for the streets in the packet.
The resolution does not go through specifically and name each street, but there's an attachment, and it's right there on page 2. We can just look at it real quick. It's broken down in a couple different categories. I think there's a couple subdivisions in particular that are having a number of streets done. And so Meadowcrest is shown there highlighted in blue, Meadowcrest streets, and then Rolling Glen subdivision is highlighted in red. And then there's always, and that's often the case, because you get your best bang if you try to address as many streets as possible within the same confined area. So that's usually what you see from Mike. He usually tries to do that. And then there's a couple other streets or portions of streets that are just in need of, and I would draw your attention to Parker Road there from 143rd to 151st. I think everybody knows we did the major, together with the township, we did the major intersection improvement down at 151st. And Mike had done some widening on Parker to accommodate that, and now he's going to be doing a resurfacing on that road. But then there's other miscellaneous roads listed. So.
Well, the list that we have in front of it is Glengarry Drive, Section 1, Greystone Drive, Section 1, Parker Road, 143rd to 151st, Wilco Drive, Wilco Circle, Maple Court, 163rd Street east of Cedar Road, Meadowcrest Lane, Long Meadow Lane, Pine View Drive, Aspen Lane, Tamarack Lane, Evergreen Terrace, Juniper Lane, Robert Emmer Drive. They're just going to patch that one. Glen Entrance, Lakespur Drive, Lakespur Court, Court Connection, Driftwood Lane, Foxborough Lane, and 179th Street. So it comes out to the budget that's set for right now for this year is $1,270,000. So with that being said, we can vote on it. Let Mike know so he can go ahead and do that. So do I have a motion and a second? All right, so the discussion's over, so Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Cabrio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee McAfee-Twenty?
Aye.
Trustee Barron?
Aye.
Trustee Speaks?
Aye.
Trustee Cox?
Aye. Motion carries. Number 9, capital fund reserve transfer. Is there a motion to direct the finance director to initiate the proposed April 30th, 2015 fiscal year and capital fund transfers to reimburse the $1,101,666 charged to the CIP bond fund for the purchase of the future Village Hall property? The reimbursement will be funded through an equity transfer of $1 million from the village's land acquisition fund and $101,666 from the village's capital project fund. So moved.
I second.
Any discussion? All right. Just so you understand what that is there was $1 million, almost $1.2 million taken out of the bond fund to buy the village hall and property at Woodbine. The bond was not set up for that. We had money in the land acquisition. That's where it should have come out of. When we had the meeting with all the residents, what, 4 years ago now, the money for the bond was set up for buying American Water's pipeline, doing 159th Street, and addressing flooding problems. We have to keep a certain amount of money in that account if we get an opportunity to get the water line sold to us. So we're just trying to reimburse what was promised to the residents of this village. So now the bond fund is back to where it should be, and we are still in the process of paying off the money that we had borrowed. So other than that, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Knight-Petricki?
Aye.
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet? Aye. Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there any old business? Is there any new business? Okay, we're going to be going into executive session. The next item is executive session. Is there a motion to go into executive session for purpose of discussing the hiring, performance, and compensation of personnel?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there discussion? Madam Clerk, could you do a roll call?
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Sweet? Aye. Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Trustee Knight-Petricki?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. So we will adjourn right now.